Hi, my name is Leon Versfeld. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney, and in this video we're going to talk about the difference between immigrant visas and non-immigrant visas. Now, this is a very important distinction because in determining whether or not you're going to be coming to the United States, the first question you should ask yourself is, are you coming here just temporarily or are you coming here permanently? Now, the majority of people that I meet want to come to the United States permanently. Now, that permanent intention could sometimes conflict with an immediate non-immigrant intent. There are only a couple of visas that allow, non-immigrant visas, that allow for you to have a dual intent. And we're going to get into that here in just 1 second. But let's just focus on the difference between immigrant intent and non-immigrant intent. Immigrant intent is really just kind of a fancy way of saying, I want to permanently immigrate to the United States and get a green card. This is for someone who, through family, through employment or investment, would come to the United States with the intention to permanently reside in the United States and ultimately perhaps become a U.S. citizen. Non-immigrant visas, or non-immigrant intent, on the contrary, is someone who plans on just temporarily coming to the United States. Now, there is a variety of non-immigrant visas going from A to Z that we can list in this video, and which I'm not going to do, but which typically just allows people to come to the United States for a specific purpose and for a specific time. And as an example, seasonal visas are typically designed for workers to come to the United States for a season to do a specific job at a specific location. After that time is expired, that worker then goes back to his or her country. Now, there are renewal processes involved in most of these non-immigrant visas to a certain extent, and most of these visas are typically capped out. For instance, the H-1B will initially allow you to come to the United States for 3 years, after which you can either renew the non-immigrant H-1B visa or you can go back home. If you renew it, you can renew it for one more time to a maximum of 6 years. There are a couple of exceptions where you can go beyond the 6-year time frame, but that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is just to differentiate between immigrant and non-immigrant visas. But let's talk about the hybrid of the two. There are a handful of visas like the H-1B and the L visa that is a hybrid between an immigrant and a non-immigrant visa, which means that you can, while being in the United States on an L or an H-1B visa, simultaneously form the intent to permanently reside in the United States by initiating a green card application. Most other visas, like student visas and tourist visas, are exclusively non-immigrant intent, which means that after the expiration of that particular visa, you have to go back to your country. If there is an immigrant intent formed during this process, there could be a violation of your current status, and it could prohibit you from coming back to the United States on another non-immigrant visa. There are obviously a couple of exceptions to that rule, but as a general rule, this is one of the #1 reasons as to why tourist visas are denied when people apply at the consulate. People are so excited to go to the United States and explain to the U.S. officer how great America is, that through this explanation actually gives the immigration officer the indication that he probably wants to permanently stay there because it's such a great place. So oftentimes, if your objective is to permanently immigrate to the United States, it's not always possible in the immediate future because a lot of immigrant visas, green cards, take quite a lot of time. And an employer, for instance, cannot wait for you to ultimately get a green card before coming to the United States. So therefore, it is important to visit with an immigration lawyer to come up with a strategy on how you can implement a non-immigrant visa with an ultimate goal to ultimately get a green card. There are some strategies that one would need to put in place in order to make sure that you don't violate your status in the process and make sure that you apply for the appropriate visa that are either dual intent or come up with the right strategy. I don't want you to miss anything, so make sure that you follow me on Twitter and SoundCloud, like my Facebook page, connect with me on LinkedIn, and more importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.